I mean, it's Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points. I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get the sauce. What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday morning to you all. Hope you all had a good Tuesday night. I definitely did. I'm 5-2 right now. If I get UCF, it'll be 6-2, and they're up damn near 70 points at half. So I think I'm in pretty good shape there. Although BYU has been a strong second half team all year, I wouldn't be surprised to see BYU come back and win that game at all.
Yeah, I took I have the UCF plus 11.5. I just took BYU plus 12.5 for a half a unit as well for a nice little middle there. So it's been a great day. The only thing that pissed me off, I guess Cincinnati was just like the wrong side. I'll take that for what it is. I mean, man, it seemed like I felt like they were in the game. And then every time anything positive would happen, it would be and one, and then a 3-ball and one. It was just really hard to get in front of anything.
They didn't blow. I mean, they were in the game early and they had an early lead. They started the game 9 of 10 from the floor.
Well, yeah.
So
but my point was they didn't play any defense, which is like their calling card. So for them not to play defense for 3/4 of the game, that was frustrating. But
yeah, Florida
State sucked.
That
was a shitty one.
You had a good. I just opened up your picks now. So you had the. Oh yeah, thank you for the Utah Iowa State under. By the way,
yeah, I'm like 6-2. Well, depending on USC, I have USC plus 7.5, and
they're down 6. Spoon. Yeah. Actually, you went 2-3. What did you go against, Spoon? I looked at your Twitter earlier and I forgot.
I ended up going 2-4. Had a really great shot to go 3-3 or even 4-2, but it's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes.
Yeah, the cookie.
The Bradley one sucked. That was
double overtime.
Yeah.
Anytime you go to double overtime with a dog, you can basically cross it off.
Yeah, and I saw sports scientist Jacob send UIC with a check mark in the thing. I was like, oh shit, I guess Spoon lost his bet. All right. So we got a lot of games to get through. Obviously, no TV Jones. He bailed on us. No, he couldn't make it. We're starting off with we're talking about a few NBA games at the end too. Scott is going to come on for those of you that want to stick around. First 2 games I added, so we can skip through them if you want. I just was interested what Toast is going to do on this one, because on one side, Toast has been very adamant about Wake Forest not being a good team. He's repeated it multiple times. Well, now you're put to the test because Boston College is really not a good team. So this is what do you think? 4.5? Does that sound right to you?
Yeah, I first of all, it's not a hard decision. Wake Forest laying 4.5 on the road. No, thank you. But yes, Boston College is very bad. Not trying to make a case that they are a good team, but they did beat Syracuse at home. They did beat Pittsburgh at home. So those are their 2 conference wins this year. So, I mean, I don't want to bet it, but I will say that Wake Forest had been playing a lot better until running into that game versus Virginia Tech, and Virginia Tech just absolutely slaughtered them. I don't believe that Virginia Tech is that much better than Wake Forest. It was nice to win the bet and everything, but and I'd like to talk more shit about Wake Forest, but the fact of the matter is it would be Boston College or pass, but I think the number's kind of efficient.
Spoon, any thoughts? Do you agree?
Yeah, it's tough to imagine Wake Forest laying 5 points on the road, but Boston College is pretty bad. I guess I lean Wake here, but I'm not getting involved.
All right, cool. Yeah, I have no interest. Let's just get off this game. Butler Villanova, another game that I added. Neither of you guys selected this one. First glance, I kind of think it's a little bit high, but Villanova has outperformed my expectations several times this year. So I think we're deep enough in the season where I can come out and say that Villanova is better than I thought they were. And yes, Toast tried to tell me that several times, to which I disregarded. But yeah, Villanova is better than I thought. So to
be fair, I also tried to tell you that Oklahoma State was really good. So,
yeah,
you win some, you lose some.
You win some, you lose some. So my first impression of looking at this is about 1.5 2 points too high. But again, my shots have aimed a little low. on Villanova all year. So Villanova has been better than I thought all year. So what do you guys think? 9.5?
Well, I'll give you a little perspective. These two teams played January 3rd. Villanova was on the road to Butler, and Villanova was catching a 1.5.
Yeah, so maybe the market's catching up to Villanova. Although Circa just moved up to 10. Not just. It was about an hour and a half ago. Circa moved up to a flat 10.
Yeah, it opened on some of the bad books like at around 11 or 11.5. Not that you put not that I put too much stock into that. Okay, odds logic, be quiet. Not that I put too much stock into that. It does feel high. It's a little bit of a sandwich spot. I know that they're coming off of a loss versus that UConn game, but they have Butler and then they have St. John's on deck, but St. John's is going to be off their UConn game as well. But regardless, it's just really hard for me to get to Butler on the road. If this was if this game was in Hinkle, maybe this would be a little bit of a different story for me. But I think that Villanova is good. I'm not trying to lay double digits right now with them, but I do think they're significantly better.
Spoon, any thoughts here? Should we just move on? Doesn't sound like Toast is very interested either.
Yeah, this Butler team's pretty banged up, missing 3 starters now coming into this game. They played pretty well in the last 2 games without them, winning back-to-back, but I think this is a spot where Villanova just lays the pedals. So I think this is probably a 15-point win, so I would lean Villanova. I'm not going to play it.
Yeah, if Villanova plays the defense that they've been playing throughout the year, and all they have to do is focus on shutting down Ayayi, who's that kid from Gonzaga, who's pretty much Butler's whole team at this point offensively. If they can shut him down, it should be a rout.
All right, let's move on. I'm good. All right. Florida, Texas. This Texas team continues to get a lot of respect in the market. It's just 6.5. That feels short. Before we get into it, is there an injury for Florida that I'm missing? Because this feels awfully short to me.
No.
So
Texas has played pretty damn well over the last month and change. Not that I agree it's a little short to say. I felt like it was going to be like around the 7.5 range, but
really, I was thinking like 8.5, 9. It's Florida.
Ken Pom has this 5. Bartovic has this 9. I played over. I played over 157.5 personally. I think that if there's one thing that we can definitely count on is that the Florida defense is awesome. The Florida offense is awesome. Their defense is very, very good too. But the Florida offense is awesome, and the Florida defense the Texas defense is absolutely terrible. It's one of the worst in the conference. And I know that Texas plays at a very slow pace, but they're also very, very efficient offensively. And getting this Florida team at home on another road game for them, I really do think that Texas can score here. I don't really want to pick a side here because I know that Texas has been playing a lot better. I know that they just lost to a Georgia team, but Georgia also likes to play fast. And Florida is just a really hard matchup for everybody because of how big they are. So I do think that it's going to be a little bit harder matchup for Texas. But keep in mind, Texas is one of the bigger teams in the country as well. Swain 6'8", Viotrochis kid, or however you say his last name, that's a 7-foot kid. The Trevon Marcus 6'5". So it's not like Texas is some small basketball team either. They're not going to get absolutely dominated. So I just think that both teams can score. It's just depending on what defense for Texas shows up, if they can stay in the game or not. But I played over.
Someone in the comments mentioned it. There were a couple 7.5s out there for those of you that were fishing the openers. It looks like, let me just confirm, both Circa and Pinnacle opened up at 6.5. It's just a couple of the softer ones. Spoon, do you agree with me that this is a little bit short? Now, it looks like there were some soft 7.5s open, so maybe I'm way off here. I think this is 2 points short.
It's tough to win on the road in conference play in these big conferences. I think Florida is head and shoulders above Texas, but I mean, this is one of those spots where it wouldn't shock me to see Texas step up and this be a one-possession game, and either team wins it. But my lean just handicapping this game is Florida probably making this number closer to 8. I don't think I'd hit 10 with this number with Florida, but because it's on the road. But I mean, the level of defense that Florida plays is just so much better. I mean, Buggy Fland is one of the best defensive guards in the country. I think Florida can win this game very handily, but I'm gonna not be involved with this. This is one of those tough spots. Texas has a nice home court there.
Really quickly, just to give you just a little perspective, and the books must feel a little bit confidence with Texas, is that we talked about winning on the road is hard. I mean, Florida has destroyed they lost their first game on the road in conference play to Missouri, but since then they are absolutely destroying teams. They played a 4-point game to Vanderbilt, but Vanderbilt's obviously one of the best teams in the country, but everything else, they're absolutely destroying teams by essentially double digits or more. So again, I felt like this number's short as well. I get it.
By the way, UCF is now up 30.
Trevor's probably loving life with that money line.
He told us to take it too.
I know. I
took the plus 11. Why didn't we take that? We agreed with everything he said. We were all on board. All right. George Mason, St. Joseph's. This is a Spoon game. You selected it. Spoon, you have the floor.
Yeah, this is George Mason for me. I took the money line. I paid minus 115 for it. I saw a minus 110 flash. Wasn't great news, but I think it bounced back to minus 115, about best number right now. I think this George Mason team is getting a little bit healthier at the right time of the season. I think this is a really good basketball team that's coming off 3 straight losses. The best time to buy low. I think them versus St. Joe's right now. This is a little bit of an overreaction to recent George Mason play, and to be able to get them on the money line right here, I think is a great value play. I'm on George Mason. I think this line should be closer to minus 2.5.
Spoon likes George Mason. He thinks the line should be 2.5. Let's see if we've had any movement in this one. So Circle opened 1, Pinnacle opened 1. Toast, do you agree with them that George Mason, this is a little short?
Yeah, I would agree with that. They were, I think, 6.5 or 7-point favorites when these two teams played. Obviously, George Mason was home, but regardless, yeah, it would only be George Mason for me. But I didn't bet it.
So
I did look at
Spoon, when you say George Mason is getting a little healthier, what can you be a little more specific? Someone just came back.
So let me pull up the game logs.
Are we talking like someone just came back, or like you're saying like a few games ago?
No, they've been dealing with injuries to a couple of their starters going back. About 2 games ago, the starter that I'm looking at started getting regular minutes ago. I mean, it's just a team that hasn't been playing that well. So 3 games ago is when he got hurt, or 4 games ago. Only played a few minutes in the next 2 games. So it kind of coincided with those losses. So I had kind of circled that. Troutman is his name.
Troutman, okay, yeah.
Not the most impact player on the team or anything.
No, I mean, he averages over 24 minutes a game, so he's a starter. All right. Nah, I'm going to pass. All right, next up. Georgia Vandy. Now, if Georgia's healthy, what the hell is this number? Vanderbilt's going to play the exact game Georgia wants to play. Fast, ton of points, should be an NBA score. Why is this 9?
Couldn't tell you.
I think Georgia can win this game.
I agree with everything that you just said. They're essentially this. I mean, I think that Vanderbilt's better. I'm not trying to say that I don't think. Yeah, Vanderbilt's better. There's no question about that. But especially defensively. But yeah, they play the same game offensively. I think Vanderbilt's defensively is a little bit better. Vanderbilt also just got back Duke Miles, who's one of the best players on their team. Go ahead.
No. I was saying I forgot about that Duke Miles is now back.
Yeah, so he came back against Tennessee. He played 27 minutes, only scored 12 points, 1 for 7 from the field. But I do think that as time goes on, obviously that he'll start to play better as well. But I do agree with you. It would only be Georgia for me. It kind of felt like I was missing something in a way. I think this was when these two teams played earlier. Let me double check it. I think it was like 5.5. Oh, never mind. It was a different game. But regardless, Yeah, I did feel it was a little bit high, but Georgia's just been so up and down. But a nice road win against Kentucky. They won against Missouri. They won against LSU. They won against South Carolina. So it's not like they have been playing terrible on the road either. So they have some decent wins. I know that the Missouri win doesn't sound great, but that's a hard place to go in and play. So, yeah, it would only be Georgia for me. I still feel like Vandy might even take money.
I don't like how it's not like there's one or two rogue nines open. Circa opened at 9. Pinnacle opened at 9. Like, they're comfortable on that 9.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like Vanderbilt might take some money.
What do you think? Do you think the number is justified here at 9, Spoon?
I think I'd make this closer to 10 Vanderbilt, even with Georgia's healthy lineup. I mean, Vanderbilt's coming off back-to-back losses. I get that. That probably gets baked into this line. But, I mean, Missouri and Tennessee both played very slow. If we look right before that, when they played Texas A&M, a team that likes to step it up in pace, they won 82-69. I think that's something they can do versus this Georgia team. I think this is a nice get-right spot. Also, if we go back the last 2 games versus Kentucky and Texas, I mean, this Georgia team's shooting 50% from 3 combined in those 2 games. Kind of a ridiculous stat. I don't expect them to keep it up. Georgia doesn't really have the best 3-point shooters on their team. I think that's more of an anomaly than anything. Great couple wins for the program. This Georgia team's exceeded my expectations for them on the season, but I think this is a Vanderbilt spot tomorrow.
Damn. I don't like there's under money coming in too. I don't even understand anything
That's
about
wild.
that.
Who's betting an under in Georgia Vanderbilt?
What the
I know
hell?
like 2 people that bet the under, and they told I mean, I didn't really get into it, but they said like they felt like it was too high and that Vanderbilt was going to destroy them. But I mean, even
nobody that is betting this game is actually going to watch it if they're putting money under the under. They would
like
just
it doesn't. Yeah. Doesn't make any sense.
The way I would bet this one is looks like under money's coming in. I'll chill if I can get like a 163.5. I'll take it over, but nah, I don't like how everyone's so confident on that 9. Spoon even thinks it should be 10.
And Spoon is right. I mean, Georgia has, shot extremely well the last 2 games from deep. I mean, it's been really, really good, but they haven't been. I mean, it hasn't been terrible. It's been bad in some spots, but they're also not. Just offensively, they're so good. I don't understand that under money at all. I'm just trying to figure it out, I guess.
No, I think, and I've heard it talked about that Georgia's pace numbers were a lot faster earlier in the season. They don't run quite the same pace now that they got into SEC play. But now a late over at a much better number is the only thing I would do there.
And for me, it doesn't even have to do with the pace because they're still giving up 87, 86, 92, 86, 94. I mean, when they lose games, they're giving up 97 to Mississippi. I mean,
every single Georgia game is just bucket for bucket, and I feel like that's the same.
Yeah, they don't stop anybody.
And it's the same with Vanderbilt. All right, Spoon. Illinois State, Northern Iowa. What are you looking at here?
This is Illinois State for me. If we look at the first matchup of these 2 teams, Illinois State was laying 6.5 points at home. Now they're catching 5.5 points on the road. That is a ridiculous overreaction to recent play, in my opinion. I know Illinois State hasn't looked the best coming down the stretch, but if we rewind back just a few weeks, I mean, this Northern Iowa team would not have been laying anywhere close to 5.5 points to them, and the past number reflects that. So I think Illinois State's a really good team. They bring back almost more minutes than anybody in the country that's not an Ivy League school or a military academy, and I think that pays off this time of year. Ben Jacobson in Northern Iowa, definitely a good team. I could see him getting this win, but I think to win by 2 possessions, it is a lot to ask, especially versus a team like Illinois State. The books came up with 6 points on the other side originally for a reason. This is a gross overreaction, in my opinion. I think we can fade overreactions and make money on them.
There's a 6.5 at FanDuel.
Yep.
I'm taking it. It seems to be off, too.
Shout out to FanDuel for these rogue lines.
Yeah, they used to catching them slipping here.
Dude, wait till you see the number I got for the game that we talk about later.
Do you agree? So I tailed. I got a 6.5. You agree with that, Toast? You look at this game.
I looked at it. I did agree. I didn't understand why Northern Iowa was such a big favorite. I'm not going to try to pretend like I understood it, though. But yeah.
All right. Illinois State. We're in. Next up.
Fighting Buzz Williams. A lot of points. I see that smile, Spoon. Go ahead. You can kick us off.
I added this
We're
one.
pricing Nebraska like they're Michigan now. What is
That's
this?
what I'm saying. I'm like, yo, this is a lot of points.
Well, hold on.
You
guys are taking the Terps here? Nebraska's winning by 30 points.
I didn't play it. I just, when I saw that, I was like, Jesus, that's a lot of points. And I know I've been Mr. Nebraska hate, but I haven't been tune that horn for a while now. I still think they're a little bit overrated, but regardless, I felt like this number was a little tad high. I think it's came down a little bit. I think there's 17.5 popping. But regardless, I'm not trying to get in front of Nebraska right now. I know that they haven't been playing as well as late, but they're losing to the upper echelon teams in this Big Ten. They've had no problem destroying these lower level teams. But
no, there's still an 18.5 out there. For those of you that want to do it, I mean, Nebraska's been putting the hurt on these bad teams, man.
Yeah.
Spoon, I guess it sounded like you were leaning towards the Terps as well.
So I led the charge with Nebraska when we were facing a really good team like Michigan State coming into this building. Like, there's a ton of energy here. One of the better environments in the Big Ten, probably more underrated environments in the Big Ten. And I know that it's going to be a very rowdy environment tomorrow, but I just don't see 18 points here. This game is closer to 13 to 15 for me. And I don't know. I'm not going to bet Maryland, but this is a huge number.
Wow, really? People out there like Maryland. I think someone in the group chat took Maryland earlier, too. We're polling about even here. Wow. Maryland sucks, guys. They're not good.
No, I trust me. I didn't bet it. So
let's move on.
Especially when Nebraska has one at home, I think they've covered this number. Not against Michigan State.
They're still going balls to the wall and with 3 minutes to go with a 16-point lead. Like, they're not stopping. Next game up. All right, big one. St. John's.
Can I just say something? And I'm not trying to. This isn't a shot at you or anything, but UConn having 3 different home courts is. I don't like it. I'm not in love with it. I'm not gonna lie.
It's stupid. Yeah.
Okay. So I know. So I just think we're on the same page.
So Gonzaga can have 2, but UConn can't.
Gonzaga
have 3.
doesn't have to. Gonzaga has to play in the arena because every other team in the country is too coward to play a home and home with them. So the only way to possibly schedule a home and home is for us to play in the arena.
Oh, like what they make Seattle do in the same conference this year?
I don't know what Seattle does. That's on them. I just know how Gonzaga works.
All the big games all the big teams they had to play in the bigger gym.
They were scared to come to the crack house.
Scared.
I would be too.
So is that guard still injured for St. John's? I'm guessing he has to be. That's why this number is 5, right? This number would be like 3.5 if he wasn't injured, right? Am I missing? Like, he's got to be.
Yeah, hold on. He's talking about Ian Jackson, yeah.
Yeah, the guy that was hurt for St. John's.
Hold on.
I'll find his name. Ian Jackson, right here.
He's gonna play tomorrow.
I thought so. I just wanted to make sure.
But he won't start?
Yeah, I was gonna say
that's the latest report I saw.
So he hasn't played. He missed the last game, so he's back. What about is what's his face still moving like a Mack truck? What did they say? What did they say about Caravan?
Caravan was moving like a cargo ship.
Yeah. Well, Spoon called that. He said he called that out. He was saying Hurley was giving him some motivational criticism, and he was right. I bet UConn in that. I think we all bet UConn against Villanova. Yep. That was a beatdown. So is UConn's problem solved? Is UConn fixed? Is UConn back?
I don't think there was ever a time where they were broken. I mean,
They kind of were.
I mean, the St. John's game. I mean, yeah, I guess that was. I mean, they kind of fell
They
apart
lost
in the
to
second
Creighton. Before that, they struggled at home against Georgetown. They were definitely limping a little bit.
I guess that's fair. I want to play I want to play UConn here. I think the better bet would be under 146.5. So you can put the under up for me. I just feel like this is going to be another, even though that it's not. This is in Gampel or Hartford. This is in Hartford, not Gampel. So even though it's not in Madison Square Garden, I still feel like this is going to be more of a defensive battle than anything. So I know that these teams played to a 153 the last time they played, but I still feel like we're not going to see a whole bunch of possessions. And if UConn plays the way that UConn wants to play, and if they're cover this number, they're going to slow this game down and play through their defense as well, because they play a much slower pace than St. John. So, and if they're able to do that, I think that this game kind of sails under. I think this game should be like around 144-ish. So under 146.5 would be my lead.
What do you think, Spoon? You think UConn's going to make it a point to slow this game down, slow St. John's down? Because this pays. St. John's does not go slow.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really interesting matchup. It seems like at this point in the rivalry, Pitino kind of has Hurley's number. We go back to the back-to-back championship years with UConn. Hurley was there at Pitino was there at Iona and gave him the best game they play in the tournament. They were down at the half, and back-to-back losses last year for UConn to St. John's. They've already lost to him once this year. I think this number is just a little bit too big. I lean St. John's here. After St. John's already won the first game, I got my money there. I don't feel the need to play this game, but if UConn takes money and this goes past 2 possessions, there's no way I don't bet St. John's.
Well, actually,
100%.
So actually, as far as the point spread, it looks like we're pretty much opening up at a consensus 5. You can find a juice 4.5 if you look. You can find a juice 5.5 if you look. But what's interesting, Pinnacle opened up at 146, shot right up to 147.5. Actually, that happened 21 minutes ago. The total went up to 147.5. So at Toast, I know you said you didn't bet the under. If their over money comes in and we can get like a 148.5, I wouldn't be opposed.
Not that FanDuel matters. Is it still 145 on FanDuel? I'm just trying to see if there's such a discrepancy in the market.
Yeah, okay. 2 whole points off.
Okay.
So FanDuel's either slow or they're playing chicken. Like, nah, we're good on 145.5.
Yeah, I trust the other. I trust the other book personally, but yeah.
I'll just put.
So I mean, tempo-wise, UConn. If you think UConn wins this game probably goes under because they keep St. John's from getting in the fast break that they like to play. They score so many of their points, but on the opposite side, if you like St. John's, it's the over. Kind of an interesting move to the over then.
Yeah, the only way I would do with this one is a late under 148.5 maybe.
Yeah, there were 69 possessions the last time these two teams played. So in my head, if I could get it around like 65, I think that under.
Holy shit. UCF is now up 35 points.
I know.
What?
I know.
What is happening? They're beating the Christ out of them. So
New Mexico's making a little bit of a run, boys. Let's go, Lobos.
What do you mean a run? They were they're up 6. Okay.
Hey now.
Wofford, Eastern Tennessee State. The Bucks? That's the Bucks, right? ETSU. The Bucks against the disgusting Dogs.
Spoon texted me about this game earlier today.
Wow.
That's how confident he is in this one.
Oh, hold on. Let me get it open then. You got something you're confident in here, Spoon?
So we're looking at a Wofford team right now that has a lot to play for. They're sitting tied for second in this conference. ETSU has already clinched the conference regular season title. What's prominent about first and second place is that 10 teams make their tournament, and the first and second team get a double bye. So Wofford has a chance right now in their last 2 games of the season to get that double bye. They play Citadel next. You can pencil them in for a free win at Citadel. So they have everything on the table right here. This Wofford team has dealt with injuries, all sorts of issues throughout the season, but they have their best player back. They're completely healthy right now at the end of the season. And they get an East Tennessee State team that it was a 1-point spread when they played them at home. Now East Tennessee State, with absolutely nothing to play for, is favored by 8.5 points. I think this is a huge Wofford spot. I think they're live on the money line. I haven't played it yet, but I'm on Wofford plus 8.5.
You haven't played it yet? What are you waiting for?
No, I haven't played the money line yet.
All right, I'll fucking tail this horse shit. All right, Wofford.
I'm pretty sure you have a pretty good record backing the weird dogs in general.
No,
Weird dogs, guys. I don't mean like actual dogs, like dogs in sports betting. I mean like little dogs, like terriers.
71 ATS backing Terriers.
It's just straight up Boston and Wofford back to back.
Damn it. Hold on. I'm sorry to hold the show up. Let me just get this in. Plus 8.5. It's horrible. Plus 8.5. There it is. All right. Ugh. I'm in. Toast, did you look at this game?
Yeah, I bet it when Spoon told me to bet it.
Oh, you're right. We're all on this shit.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even look at it. I swear to God, he texted me about it. I said, "Okay, dude, cool." I didn't say that, but yeah, it was like, "Yep, okay, I'll bet it."
Well,
so the kid that came back 2 games ago for Wofford, a lot of people say he has NBA upside. I mean, definitely a chance to get drafted in the lower rounds for this kid. You can't say that about a lot of the players in this conference, especially in a game like this. Look for him to have a huge game. Kamari Holmes,
Wofford. All right, Spoon.
Yeah. He didn't play for like 2 weeks and then came back and scored 20 back-to-back games. I did look him up. I know that.
All right, let's talk about a real conference. Big East, Xavier Providence. I know we're at the dunk, but I don't know if this game should be 6. Dude.
I actually agree with that. I'm not really in love with backing Xavier because I feel like they have an issue closing games. But if you go back and look, I mean, they're not playing terrible on the road. I mean, they lost by 5 to Butler. They lost in overtime by 5 to St. John's. The Connecticut game, they got killed in Seton Hall. But besides that, a 1-point game to Creighton, a 1-point game to Marquette, a 9-point game to DePaul. They beat Georgetown. I mean, I just feel like this number is big for a Providence team that, yes, you said it is the dunk, but the dunk hasn't really been the same for all year, really. I know that they're winning games there and whatnot, but Butler took them to double overtime. They barely beat Creighton. I know that might sound good, but we all know how bad Creighton has been. I mean, they looked really good against DePaul, but besides that, I mean, Providence hasn't been playing very good at the dunk at all. So, and Xavier with Richard Pitino, I still feel like they're going to continue to fight. I mean, still feel like he's going to continue to get this team better. I don't expect them to win games against Villanova, and the Butler game, they actually didn't play that bad. Butler ended up winning that game, but Butler got out to a lead early and never kind of let it go. But regardless, I don't think that Xavier's playing that bad. It would only be Xavier for me. I wish I got a little bit more, but yeah, it would only be Xavier.
I think I lean the same way. Spoon, would you agree that this number is about a 0.2? I'm not saying it's way off, but I'd probably make it 4.5, 5.
I was just about to say, I thought 5 max was like where I was at.
So we might have a little something here, although, and especially because we can get a 6.5 right now. What do you think, Spoon?
I mean, if you look at what the Xavier team's done in recent play. They took St. John's to overtime. They beat Marquette, took Villanova to overtime. That Butler game, they lost by 5. They had one of their best players get in foul trouble, barely played 20 minutes of that game. They beat Providence already this season, quite handily, 97-84. Granted, that was at home. Now you hit the road. But, I mean, I'm not in love with this Providence team. I think the reason the number is this way, I mean, this is a spot at home. They have to show up. If you look at Providence's schedule, they could win out. They have Xavier, Creighton, Marquette, and Georgetown. Those are 4 winnable games for this Providence team. Sitting 5-11 in conference, they could jump up 2 or 3 spots in the conference tournament by finishing well here. So I think this is a spot where Kim English absolutely needs to show up. This guy, not playing for his job here anymore, but for another Division I job in the future. If he takes this team out hot to end the season and does something in the Big East Conference Championship tournament, I think he at least has something to hang his hat on, and I think it starts here. So I'm not going to get in the way of Providence. I think the number indicates that they show up, but where it's at, Xavier's probably the play on paper.
Yeah, you can get 6.5 right now. I really don't think it closes any higher than that. I think it's going to come down.
Somebody asked why the total is what it is. It's two of the worst defenses.
I'll show you.
Conference.
I can answer that with the screenshot. I can answer that question. Hold on.
Defense is in base, but go ahead.
Neither of these teams play any defense. Here's the defense for the teams. Providence, horrible defense of the full season. Xavier, bad defense of the full season, horrible in the last 5. Look at the pace. This is and look at Providence, over 18% turnover rate in their last 5 games. This is just going to be nonstop sprinting, bucket for bucket. That's what I'm saying. What am I doing? I'm betting this. Musketeers.
God damn it. And Musket, they've been shooting well from 3 lately. The Xavier offense is coming around.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that I think Xavier's good, but I mean, how many points are we allocating for the dunk here? I'm on a neutral. I'm not putting Providence more than 1.5 above Xavier. Maybe 1.5 points better. So 6.5. Get the fuck out of here. Unless there's not an injury or anything that anybody heard, right?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, especially for Xavier, all you got to worry about is Carol, Milicevic, and Melissa Moore. I know that's not their name. That's just how I remember it. That wasn't a shot at him. I'm sorry.
TV Jones is in the comments. Moneyline Xavier, he said.
Okay. He's hot. He's hot right now.
The only reason Milicevic had reduced minutes in the last game was he was in foul trouble. He fouled out of that game, so he only had 21 minutes. But there's no injuries to the Xavier roster. I mean, on the opposite side, Providence has been fighting injuries all season.
Let's go. I'm in 6.5. I'm in. Now that doesn't look like to be one you have to rush for. By the way, there's 6.5s everywhere. Everywhere 6.5 except for Circa is holding at 6. A juice 6, but a 6 nonetheless. Pitt Stanford toast. Let's see. Did you get a? You looks like you can still get a 7.5 if you're trying to tail here. Circa and Pinnacle opened at 8, so you're on Stanford minus 7.5, right?
I am. I just think this is a really good spot for Stanford. I'm not trying to pick on Pittsburgh, and when I say they haven't been playing well, they haven't been playing well all season, but their last few games, they just beat Notre Dame, which obviously Notre Dame's really bad, but they had previous to that, they had lost to the upper echelons of the ACC. So I do want to give them credit. They were losing games before that as well. Especially games on the road. They do have one road win this year in conference play, and that was against Georgia Tech. They absolutely killed them. But besides that, it's been absolutely terrible. But they finally got a win, and now they got to travel all the way to the West Coast to face a Stanford team that has NBA talent on this team. They're coming off of 2 straight losses from their trip over out to the East Coast, but they've played better at home so far this year. I know that Duke killed them and whatnot, but they had a couple games that really didn't go their way that could have went either way. But regardless, I just feel like this is a really, really bad spot for Pitt. And if Stanford plays the way that they have been playing, and I know that they lost their last 2, but I still think they've been playing a lot better than people give them credit for. So, I thought this game should have been 8.5, 9. I really think that Stanford's going to win this game by double digits. I think this is a terrible, terrible spot for Pitt.
It looks like the market is moving that way towards your 8.5, 9. What do you think, Spoon? Do you agree with Toast that it should be 8.5 instead of 7.5? It's already at 8.
Yeah, this number should probably be closer to Stanford double digits, the 10-point mark. Pitt's not a good basketball team at all. Coming off one of their only wins in conference play, now they have to hit the road, go all the way to Stanford. I think this is a bad spot for Pittsburgh. I like Stanford here. I'm not ready to lay the points with them, but I do think this number should probably be a little bit bigger.
Yeah, look at Pitt's last 5 games. Oh my god, dude. Jesus. Poor Panthers. I'm not gonna bet it though. Next up, DePaul Creighton. I think this is one that I added, so we don't have to spend a ton of time on it if you guys don't want.
Still feel like DePaul's getting a little disrespected here. I just feel like this game should be closer to like 2.5, 3 personally. So you can put DePaul up. I'm not going to bet it because Creighton is a hard place to play, and DePaul is definitely not a team you're trying to back on the road. But they did get a nice win over Seton Hall on the road the last time they hit the road. So maybe that does something. But regardless, before that, it had been pretty bad. Again, though, it's more of the fact that I just don't think Creighton should be laying close to 2 possessions. I know it's 5, but regardless, they shouldn't be laying over a possession to anybody.
I think this number's about right at 5.
I mean, I'm not betting DePaul, so I can't.
I'm good on this one. Do you have any interest, Spoon?
I think this number's too big. I think DePaul's only a team you can really look to back at home. Same could be said with this Creighton team, except they just went on the road and beat UConn. They beat them by 7 points. If they can beat UConn on the road by 7, I think they can easily do that to DePaul too. I haven't had a great feel for this DePaul team all season, and Creighton is not a team I have a ton of trust for. That's why I'm not going to play this, but I think Creighton should be laying a full 2 possessions here.
You lean Creighton. Doesn't sound like any of us are really interested, though. All right, let's move on. What is the next game up? We got Kansas State, Colorado. This is another one I added. We could just skip it. It's Kansas State, obviously, with an interim head coach. Any thoughts, or should we move on?
It'd be Colorado or pass for me. I'm not trying to lay over 2 full possessions with Colorado, but I thought Kansas State was in a decent position to try to give Texas Tech a 18-point game or whatever it was. Obviously, that wasn't the case, but now they got to travel again out to the mountains. This is going to be their fourth road game, or third road game in their last 4 games. It's just a terrible, terrible spot for a Kansas State team. It would only be Colorado, but I'm not trying to lay that number.
There, you can get a 6.5. What do you think, Spoon?
Yeah, I lean Colorado as well. Kansas State coming off a tough loss. Last time they came off a tough loss and their coach tried to get them up and get them to practice. That guy got fired. So I don't think this coach is going to do anything different. Colorado, really tough place to play.
Yeah, you guys want to bet this? I mean, they're covering when they're winning at home. They're covering all these numbers, and the only games they lost at home was Kansas, UCF, Texas Tech by 2. I'm down if you guys are down.
Kansas State runs an insanely fast pace and turns the ball over like psychopaths.
Yeah, good luck with that in the mountains.
6.5?
I'm down.
I'll do it.
Let's get busy. 6.5, Colorado. Let's do it.
I'm going to put that in my bet slip. Just getting busy.
Colorado in Boulder. Okay, so the 6.5s are disappearing. So if you like the 6.5, I would say
I'm going on DraftKings.
Same.
I hate the juice.
I hate the juice.
I know I shouldn't say it. I'm usually okay up to like 115 because I'm okay with that. 120 that's when I start to get like.
I bet it just been a bum ass.
Just the incremental steps up. Like the more you're saying you have to win to hit that bet. Like over the long term, like 105 is so much different than 115.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's go. We're on the Buffs. Coach Prime.
I remember when the Seminole Casino opened and they were doing 112s across the board, and some people thought the world was ending.
I mean, we should riot and 12 becomes the standard. That's
I know.
I mean capitalism, bro. Someone will always beat it. One for LSU, Ole Miss, and Oxford. Is Deon Thomas back? Which is the first question I ask whenever we talk about LSU. Is their point guard back? Because if he's not, this should not be 1.5.
I don't think he's coming back anytime soon.
Then what am I
I
missing?
thought he was done for the season.
Yeah, so did I.
Oh, he's done for the season? It's Denon Thomas Jr., right?
Yeah, he's done. He had surgery.
Then what are we doing here? Why is this 1.5 in Oxford? I'm missing something.
No, I had this circled. I just hadn't bet it yet. I wanted to see what the number did. I hadn't looked too much into it, but I do know off the top of my head that Mississippi has played some of the better teams in the country over their last few games. They played Florida, they played Alabama, they played Texas A&M. The Mississippi State game is inexcusable, but they played Texas as well. And I know that Texas isn't like a household name, but they've been playing really, really good basketball over the last month and a half. So, yeah, I think this is a really good chance for Ole Miss to finally get a win here after a whole bunch of losses in a row. I don't know. I can't even count that high, but yeah, it would only be Ole Miss for me.
Yeah, no question. Ole Miss is better. This is the better team at home and at close to what?
Yeah, dude, it just bothers me because they've just been getting slaughtered. Like, I mean, the Texas A&M game they got up for, but besides that,
better team is a reach. Mississippi has lost 9 straight games.
To who? Tennessee, Vanderbilt, Tech. Like, they even played it. When's the last time they played a team that's even close to Ole Miss?
Mississippi State.
Mississippi State's
They were
better.
at home.
Mississippi State.
That was a 1-point game or 1-point spread.
They got beat by 12 points.
No, they've
At
lost.
home.
You just said when was the last time they played a game? I don't know. That was the game. I thought that fit the description.
Oh, dude, I'm mixing up. I'm looking at Ole Miss schedule. I thought I was looking at LSU schedule. I mixed up I opened up the wrong page. I still think Mississippi State's better than LSU. LSU's terrible.
It's probably a fair debate. I'm not ready to play
I am.
Mississippi without less money in front of them.
LSU's bad. Yeah.
Hold on, let me filter this out the last month. How long has Thomas been out?
He's been out. I already know when he's been out since Mississippi State game, January 28th.
Okay. Well,
They've lost every single game.
First was the first game without him.
Yeah. They've lost every single game except South Carolina. They won in overtime against South Carolina.
Not that this is like a huge thing, but if you filter that out using Bartovic, it makes Mississippi like -5.
Yeah. I'm betting Ole Miss money line. There's a -125.
Just computers.
What are you getting on that money line price?
-125.
I had an argument with some computer baseball nerds today. Pissed me off.
Piss you off because you lost the argument?
I'm pretty sure I would.
Pretty sure I won. All right.
Dude.
Ole Miss money line. I'm in.
While Kyle's doing that, guys, Randy Vasquez, heaters hitting 96. Just watch it.
It's way too early in the year to talk about Randy Vasquez, dude.
But do they have any lefties in the lineup?
We have
The Padres? We can't talk. We can't do this. We can't do this.
We have a strict no Randy Vasquez before March 20th rule in this channel. No talk about Randy Vasquez. I bet you there's some people that are new that are just like that came to the channel within the last 6 months, but like, I don't get it. What's this Randy Vasquez thing? But for people that were here last summer, they're like, dude, no, not Randy Vasquez. It's too early.
Not yet. It's not
Too
that time
early.
of year yet.
Yeah, it's too early. Mississippi State, Alabama. I might have added this one, or did someone select it?
No, you did.
Any thoughts? I added this one. Yeah.
I wanted to. You can't play over. This number is just absolutely ridiculous. But I do think that you could play it like if you really wanted to play it like an Alabama team total. I don't know what it is, but
Bro,
there's
it's going to
just
be like
no-
95.
I was just about to say there's just no value playing it right now because they have been winning all their games for the last.
It's
2 or 3
95 and a
weeks now.
half. It's 95 and a half.
Yeah, they've been winning all their games, and they've been scoring 95 plus points, give or take, obviously, in all their games. So it's just there's just no value really here with Alabama. And as far as the over is concerned, I mean, I know that especially when these teams have played the past, there's been some fireworks. But regardless, I know that the game earlier, Alabama scored 97, and Mississippi State scored 82. But I don't know. I just don't really trust this Mississippi State team. Yeah, they're really bad defensively. So maybe Alabama does score 100.
You can't. I think you lean towards Mississippi State here. They can score on Alabama. Alabama doesn't play defense, and Alabama's.
I agree with that.
Alabama's a good team. They're just not a good enough defense to lay a big number. They're the type of team I would never lay a number to, but I would never. They're the Pacers, dude. I would never lay a big number with them, but I would never lay points to them either. I think you take Mississippi State here. What do you think, Spoon? 15 too big?
No, I think this is still Alabama at 15. These coaches have been in the same league now for a few years, and Chris Jans has been able to keep it close at home and have some respectable shots at winning, but on the road, this team has gotten slaughtered versus Alabama, and I think this Alabama current roster is very capable of doing that. They get up and going, and I mean, all of a sudden a 3-point game turns into a 13-point game, and it's very frustrating to be on the other side of that. I could only be on Alabama here tomorrow. I don't try to get involved with 15-point spreads unless I feel like I have a huge edge, and I don't know, this game probably closes right there between 14 and 16, and I think Bama wins 15-20.
I'm good on that one. Ohio State, Iowa.
I might have went 6-3 sauce, just for the record. USC is tilted.
But you have so 7-3 if you get New Mexico.
Yeah, 2 shots.
Oh yeah, the guy commented the picks were so bad yesterday. It went 6-2. That's just people like that are proof that bad gamblers are going to lose. It doesn't matter how I can give them the most winnable action ever. Bad gamblers will still lose. Ohio State on the road at Iowa. I thought this was taking money before. So no, you can find a juice 5.5 or 6.5 depending on where you look.
If you can get a 5.5, it's came down. That's probably a rogue number because I've been looking at Iowa all day long. I didn't even see the 5.5.
You can get a 5.5 minus 150. You can get a 5.5 minus 115 right now on Hard Rock, minus 120 on FanDuel. Is Mobley back?
No.
If Mobley's not back, I think this is a little short. No, or is just Iowa too slow?
I honestly wanted to hear what Spoon had to say. I know that we dub him as an Ohio State hater, but he does. I'm sure he knows what he's talking about with this team. For one thing, this team can't win back-to-back games to save their life. I think they've done it like once in the past 2 months or something like that. So that's first and foremost. But I don't really trust them on the road, and I do think that this Iowa team is getting a little bit of disrespect here. I know that Ken Pom only has this number 4, but they've played. I mean, Maryland was pretty bad on the road, but sooner or later they were going to lose one. But getting drilled by Purdue at home, it is what it is. But Wisconsin, I've talked about this over and over. Wisconsin's been very, very good on the road, and I feel like they've been criminally underrated. So I know that really looks bad, but I don't think that Ohio State has the shooting to not even close that resembles that Wisconsin team at all. So I don't think you have to worry about that. And for me, it's with Ohio State, and I'm sure that Spoon would echo this, is if you can shut down Bruce Thornton, you're going to be okay against this Ohio State team. And I think that Iowa's defensively can do that. And yes, Iowa does play at a very, very slow pace, but they are still a very good, efficient offense. And they still have 2 guys in Sturts and Tavion Banks that can get buckets from anywhere on the floor. I thought this game should have been 7-ish. So that's why I didn't move it to 6.5. But at 5.5, I don't love the 120, but at 5.5, it would only be Iowa for me.
I agree. Without Mobley, I don't think Ohio State is nearly as good. Mobley's my guy too. I'm a big fan. Mm-hmm. So do you agree that if Mobley's still out, it's Iowa here?
So it's not just Mobley that's out. Devin Royal also missed the last game for Ohio State. That's a big injury for them as well. They're both day-to-day heading into this next game. Ohio State's not a very deep team. They don't use a lot of minutes off the bench. So if either one of them is out again, I really do lean Iowa. I think Ohio State played an awesome game of basketball versus Michigan State, only losing by 6 points, missing probably 2 of your 4 best players on the court. I think if they get 2 of those players back, this game looks a lot different. McCollum's a great coach, but he's not the kind of guy I look to win by multiple possessions. They win this game, but it's probably a 4-point game that is a nail biter the entire way. I wouldn't be shocked to see Ohio State come out and win, especially if Mobley is on the court, and he's currently listed as day-to-day for tomorrow. I think there's a chance he plays.
Royal will play. I did read that when I was looking at this game earlier.
If Mobley's back, I don't want to be on Iowa, so I'm good. 141.5 might be a couple points too high with the pace. Should be the slowest basketball game ever, but I say that every Iowa game, and they always score points. They're just so efficient. They're slow but efficient.
But it is the Ohio State look ahead to Purdue. This is how Diebler got his job in the first place. He's on the hot seat again. He's got Purdue coming in. That's what he's focused on.
All right. All right. I guess that's what he's focused on. Toast? Are we going back to the bread and butter?
Yes, we are.
You took the
I haven't bet it yet because I kind of wanted to watch what I haven't seen what it was doing. But it would only be the under for me. And I know, okay, first and foremost, I know that we lost this under the first time that this game went around, but Portland shot 44% from deep that game. They shot 65% from the field. They literally couldn't miss. Since then, it really hasn't been the same story for them in any way, shape, or form. They shot 10% from deep against San Diego. They had a decent night. They shot 8 of 18 against Pepperdine. But regardless, and then 5 of 19 versus Seattle at a loss on the road as well. And now they come back up to Spokane where, I mean, Gonzaga has finally righted the ship, especially after that loss to Portland. Their defense has been there. The offense is starting to kick it up a notch a little bit. But regardless, I don't think that Portland scores more than 55 points here. And I don't think that Gonzaga is going to be putting up 100 here. I think that Gonzaga wins this game like 88-50 or something of that nature. So I do think that they cover. Not a chance in hell I would actually lay that number, but I do think that under 150 would be a play.
What do you think, Spoon?
I'm not going to be involved with this basketball game tomorrow. I think Gonzaga could win this game by 40 points if you ask them to do it. I do like that under. I don't think Portland's going to put many points on the board. It really just depends how much Gonzaga scores. Like I don't think 90's off the table, but if they only scored 75, I think this under is very comfortable.
Nah, yeah, I'm not going to do it. Portland has a turnover rate over 20% in their last 5 games. I'm not trying. Might be like all you can eat buffet for Gonzaga here, dude. I think I would go Zags in this one.
Yeah, I think I might play under 150.5. We'll see. I'll post it if I do.
All right, let's move on. I think I would consider laying it there.
I just feel like it's going to close at like 148.5. Regardless, anyway, doesn't matter.
Wow, Seattle just 5.5 to a team the likes of Pepperdine. So we pass the rock to Spoon. We know the history here. Spoon has been very bullish on this Seattle. What are they? The Storm?
Redhawks.
The Redhawks. Very bullish on this Redhawks team. Very stubborn as far as not accepting that this team is not good on the road. So you're really put to the test here. Spoon, you've been very stubborn. You refuse to admit that Seattle isn't good on the road. They're on the road against a Pepperdine team that, let's just call it what it is, isn't having that great of a year. Do they finally get a road win here, Spoon?
Yes, they get a road win. They get a road cover. Seattle 5.5 minus 105. I bet it as soon as I saw it. I think this number closes 6.5 to maybe a flat 7. I think this is a much better Seattle team than Pepperdine team. This first game, I think Seattle had a chance to completely walk away with it, and Pepperdine got really hot. Seattle still managed to win that game. It's been a tough year for Chris Victor stepping up in conference. This team has lost Maldonado, one of their better players, but they played a really good game versus St. Mary's without him for the entire game. They just won in Portland at home. I think this Pepperdine team is in for a very tough time scoring the basketball tomorrow. I'd be shocked if they break 60 points.
Spoon. You're going to lay 5 guys, just to give you an idea, let's go over to Seattle's schedule and let's play a game. The name of the game is, when's the last time this team has won a game on the road? Okay, here's Santa Clara. Loss. Portland. Loss. Washington State. Lost. Pacific. Loss. Oregon State. Loss.
Pacific is a 105 next to their name. You said it like it was like
Pacific is trash. St. Mary's. Loss. Gonzaga. Loss. Here we go. December 22nd. Was Trump even president yet at this time? How long? That was like 6 months ago. The last time they won a game on the road, Spoon. So Spoon still stubborn, refusing to accept it.
All right, Cal, after that, bet Pepperdine. Do it. I double dog dare you.
They're really bad. Toast, what's going on with this one?
Can't get down with the waves?
Are they the Waves?
I think so.
Yeah, they are the Waves. I just pulled it up. Toast, what do you think? Is Seattle going to road win here? Are you muted? You're muted.
Sorry, I do think that they get a road win here. I'm not laying the points. It would be Seattle team total over 76.5 or pass. This total has been completely steamed, I think from 141 or 142, I think. And that's because Pepperdine is incapable of playing any defense at all. They are by far the worst defense in the conference, and it's not even close. They just gave up 83 to Oregon State on the road. They gave up 87 to Portland in a win on the road. They gave up 89 to Loyola Marymount on the road, 88, 92, 83. I mean, this team just gives up a shit ton of points. So even without Maldonado, I think I have a hard time believing that Seattle can't score tomorrow. And I didn't play the over in the game because it got steamed up so much. And I do agree with Spoon that Seattle defensively should be able to step up here. This should be a get up game for them with how bad they've been on the road. I'm not laying it, but it'd be Seattle team total over a pass.
Pepperdine plus 5.5. You're out of your mind.
Pepperdine is also missing their best big man in the Seattle game. The first time around, he went 4 for 4 from 3, 4 for 5 from 3, 4 from 4 from the free throw line. So he's been out the last 2 games. Been one of their more impactful players. So you have players out on both sides.
I don't care.
I get you, Clown. I think it was a great Seattle spot. I do think this closes well.
Spoon, I don't care if both their leading scorers are out and they went to the chemistry class and grabbed a couple of kids to suit up and play in this game. Seattle doesn't win on the road. It's been months. All right. Let's move on to the next one. It's been months with an S. Months. Next up.
I do.
Texas A&M Arkansas. 170 total. That sounds about right for this one.
Yeah.
So is Buckyball dead?
Spoon? Go ahead.
No.
You're a buckyball lover.
Why is Buckyball dead? They've won their last 2 games.
It just doesn't feel the
Why
same.
would it be dead?
It just doesn't feel the same.
Doesn't got the same lore anymore.
Doesn't have the same lore anymore. Ever since they lost that game to Missouri. No. In the one game, they had like 16 points in the first half. That was embarrassing. So, and anyone have thought? I think I might have added this one. I don't think anyone selected this game. Yeah, I added it. So, do you guys have any thoughts? You want to just skip to the next one?
Arkansas has been really good at home, but I'm not in love with them laying this number. I do think this number is a little bit disrespectful, in my opinion. I thought it should be like 6.5 or so. I don't think that Buckyball is dead. I think that they played some really good teams. And Alabama, that game could have went either way. They lost that game by 3. Florida destroyed them, but they lost by 1 to Missouri. And then obviously the Vanderbilt game wasn't great either. But 2 of those 4 games, I mean, they were in very, very close and could have won it. So they easily could be, 11-3 in conference, and we really wouldn't bat an eye here. So I don't think that they're dead. It's just more of what you're going to get from Arkansas and Arkansas at home. So they've been pretty damn good at home so far this year. I will give you that, but I do think that the step up in competition playing this Texas A&M team. I mean, yeah, they destroyed Vanderbilt, but I mean, they played a 4-point game to LSU. They played a a double-digit or a 12-point game to Auburn, and I think that Texas A&M is a lot better than Auburn, especially the way that they've been playing right now. So they played a close game versus Tennessee as well. So again, I just feel like this number was a little bit too high. I do feel like it should be over 2 possessions, but getting close to that 3 full possessions number, at least at what it was earlier, it would only be Texas A&M for me. I was hoping to get like an 8.5 personally, or a 9, but I don't know.
I don't know. I kind of think this 7.5, 8 number sounds about right. Arkansas has been really strong at home. What do you think, Spoon?
At this number, I lean A&M. I think I'd make this number closer to Arkansas -6.5. I think Arkansas might be one of the dark horses in the country to be like a Final Four team. I think they have all the pieces to make it work. Acuff is a serious player. Billy Richmond is too. But I just think A&M has the ability to, even if they find themselves down 15 points at any point in this game, to make runs. I lean A&M here. I don't think they really have a chance to win this game on the road, but I think they can keep it within a couple possessions.
They've also played really well on the road too. So
all right, let's
really only the Vanderbilt game is the only one that's not good. Everything else looks good.
I probably would just go like over or whatever that one. I'm not interested. UNLV, Grand Canyon. Oh my God, UNLV.
I didn't click this game.
Wow, we're talking about a UNLV game and Toast didn't select it?
Well, me and Spoon talked about this earlier, and so yeah. But yeah, go ahead.
Spoon, so have you boarded the UNLV bandwagon? Toast hasn't gotten the hell off of it.
Why would I?
I'm on Grand Canyon here. I cannot be on them. I cannot be on UNLV right here. I think this is a really tough road environment for any team to have to go into and play, especially this UNLV team. Trying to pull up notes on this real quick. Toast, if you have anything to say about it real quick, it'd be awesome.
Yeah. So obviously, I think everybody knows I have a love affair with this UNLV team, and they have been playing really, really good, especially over the last month. But I will say, the reason that I like them is because I feel like they kind of play better on the road. They just keep on laying duds at home, and it seems like. But regardless, I just don't know what to expect from this Grand Canyon team. They've been so up and down, and they do have some really good, impressive wins, especially at home this year. They beat Utah State. They beat Boise State. They beat Utah State handily and Boise State handily. So it's not a question of do I think that they can win these games. It's just if I want to lay these types of numbers with them, because, I mean, their last couple home games versus Wyoming and New Mexico, it hasn't really been great. I just feel like Grand Canyon isn't playing well enough to be commanding this type of number. But when we talked about this, you could have got 9.5 with UNLV. There was a 9.5 on the board. There was a 7.5 on the board. Obviously, it's settled around lower than 9.5. But I don't know. I just felt like this was a lot of points against a UNLV team that's played well on the road and that is playing really well right now.
Yeah, so some of the Recs opened up at 9.5. It looks like the early action has come in on the UNLV side. Pinnacle's down to 7.5. Circa opened at 8 and hasn't moved. So you can get a 7.5 on Grand Canyon, Spoon.
Yeah, I was looking at this game earlier. That 9.5, I texted him because I kind of thought Toast would be on that UNLV 9.5.
I thought it was wild. I thought I was missing something. I even said that. I said, that's ridiculous.
That first game was a 3-point game or 3-point spread. Grand Canyon was laying 3 on the road. So not a huge line move to get to 7.5. You would expect it somewhere around 6 or 7, but that 9.5 was a little bit eye-opening. I think this line moves up. Circa's at 8. I think 8.5 is the closing number for this game. Grand Canyon fell behind early in that game. UNLV came out, shot the ball really well. That's a tough road environment for Grand Canyon to go into, and I just think they get their lick back here, as Trevor would say. Really, I don't understand how UNLV could be on any book opening at 10 here. It just makes me think that UNLV is not going to be in this game.
All right. Speaking of you want to talk about a good basketball game, dude. It's Santa Clara, St. Mary's. As far as WCC, these are the 2 premier teams in the conference. I I think we know that this is what it's going to come down to. Santa Clara, St. Mary's, maybe the San Francisco Dons. Over.
Fair enough. I'm curious what Spoon has to say. I bet St. Mary's at 3.5, so it doesn't really. It's not really the same bet.
It was at 3.5.
Yeah, I hit it as soon as it opened.
It was there for a while too.
Yeah, I was gonna say it wasn't like it was just like kind of rogue. It was there for a couple hours. But.
So you can still get a juice 4.5. I'll put St. Mary's up for you, but it's mostly 5.5 now.
Yeah. So these two teams played earlier in the year, and obviously St. Mary's lost that game by 8 points. Santa Clara did shoot the 3 ball well. I mean, there wasn't anything crazy. It's just the fact that Santa Clara defensively played very, very well in that game, and St. Mary's just didn't make any shots. And that's just something that I don't believe they're going to be able to do again. I know that this Santa Clara team is very good. This isn't me trying to take shots at Santa Clara, but this is Randy Bennett and St. Mary's. And like Kyle just tried to take a shot with me. I know that Gonzaga is sitting at 15-1 this year, but I personally think that St. Mary's and Santa Clara can both give this team problems in the WCC tournament. So Gonzaga also has to play St. Mary's at the last game of the season. So there'll be another game like that. But regardless, this is for me. I just feel like St. Mary's gets their lick back. Santa Clara has been really good on the road, but I also feel like they've been a little bit lucky as well. The San Francisco game, they absolutely shot the lights out. Over 41% from deep, almost 54% from the field. I don't think they're going to be able to do that versus St. Mary's. Washington State was the same type of situation. Absolutely ballistic. Over 40% from deep, 63% from the field. They went in and they beat up a lowly Pacific team. So they have very good. Santa Clara has very good numbers on the road, but the step up in competition is very significant, and the step up in defense that they're going to have to see is very significant as well. Not to mention, like I said, it's the fact that I'm getting Randy Bennett in a position that he's been in multiple times. Not that Herb Sendek is a bad coach, but he hasn't been in this type of position where you need to win to get in that second spot, because if you're in that second position and these two are fighting, you get a quadruple bye in the WCC tournament as well. So there's a significant advantage for being number 1 and number 2 in the conference as opposed to being 2 and 3 in the conference. So I think St. Mary's takes care of this at home. Like I said, I like it much more at 3.5. I wouldn't play it at 5.5, but yeah.
Thing is, I don't trust Santa Clara's defense.
That's my point.
Yeah,
they've gotten really lucky.
Gonzaga exposed this defense, and I don't trust them defensively. So if St. Mary's can score, then I don't want to be on a Santa Clara number. Spoon, you've spoken highly of this Santa Clara team. At what number would you consider buying back on the Santa Clara side?
Really quickly, I'm going to lose New Mexico. Nevada's on a 13-2 run. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
When I saw St. Mary's there, I said I was hoping for a 3 with St. Mary's. The line obviously moved the other way very quickly. Santa Clara beat St. Mary's that first game. Santa Clara shot terribly from the field, less than 50% from 2. I think they made 3 threes the entire game. So the St. Mary's defense showed up, as it always does. I think Santa Clara maybe can shoot a little bit better. The question is, defensively, can they shut St. Mary's down? The way St. Mary's wants to play basketball is very slow in the half court. I think that's something that Santa Clara can handle a little bit better than that Gonzaga. Gonzaga likes to set up half court too, but they also push the pressure sometimes. I think this is a much better spot for Santa Clara. They have Oregon State at home on deck. And if we look at these two teams, they both have at-large bids kind of hanging in the balance of this game. Santa Clara has some huge wins. They beat Nevada this year already. They beat Minnesota this year. They already beat St. Mary's. So they have some nice wins on their record. They're sitting 23-6. They're going to beat Oregon State at home, in my opinion. So if they find a way to get this win tomorrow, they'd finish up 25-6 overall with some huge wins, probably an at-large bid. So I'm not ready to count Santa Clara out. I lean Santa Clara at the 5-5 number. It would have to be under 3 for me to play St. Mary's.
Yeah, I'm good on this game. I kind of wanted to play over, but what Spoon just said about St. Mary's running a half-court offense and it might put Santa Clara in a better position defensively, scares me a little bit off and over.
So, and then St. Mary's obviously has Gonzaga on deck. So, I mean, you can't look past Santa Clara after Santa Clara already beat you this year. But, I mean, that's a huge game.
3 college basketball games remaining, and then we'll talk about a few NBA games. Utah State, San Diego State. Who selected this one? Toast, I know you did the Washington State game.
Spoon selected this game. I'm sure we both have thoughts, but Spoon selected it.
So I'm on Utah State money line. I have, I believe, minus 105 here. These are 2 great teams, San Diego State and Utah State meeting up here. This is a San Diego State home game. I think this is a spot. Utah State is just the much better team. San Diego State's defense can definitely step up, but they're dealing with injuries right now. One of their best players in Magoon Guaf has played limited minutes in the last 3 games coming back from a foot injury, as well as Jeremiah Odin. So I think there's some question marks on how healthy the San Diego State team is. There's talk of transfers leaving this team, already thinking about committing to new rosters next year. So after back-to-back losses, I don't necessarily know where San Diego State is at, but I know Utah State has their eyes locked on the NCAA tournament. I think they pretty much already have a bid locked up if they can finish out the season with dignity. And I think that starts tomorrow on the road versus San Diego State. I think they get a win. They won by 5 points at home. I think this is just a really fun game tomorrow. This will be a great watch.
I know that Utah State is the better team. Doesn't San Diego State have a really good defense? Yeah, I just pulled it up. They have a really good...
they're the best defense in the conference.
What do you think, Toast? Do you agree with them?
Yeah, I texted him and said they needed the big man. What's his face?
Guaf.
Yeah, he didn't play the first time that these 2 teams played. San Diego State lost that game by 5 on the road. Utah State was a 6.5 point favorite at home, and Utah State plays very, very well at home. They're significantly worse on the road. But at the same time, this San Diego State team just doesn't look right now. And I do think that if the Utah State shots are falling, and they should be able to get inside here, and if Gua's not there, I do think that sets up some problems for San Diego State. I just, for me, it's more of, I feel like if Utah State wins this game, that I agree with Spoon, they're in the NCAA tournament, because they don't have a whole bunch of great wins, but this would be a nice quad 1 win on the road for them. And then they have another possible one versus New Mexico to end the year, where that might be that'd be quad 1. But regardless, I think this is a really good shot for Utah State. But I don't know. I thought it was kind of weird that they were getting +1, because I just don't think that San Diego State's playing well right now. So, and that's not just because they've lost 2 games in a row. But anyway,
147 feels high for what I'm looking at here. Neither team plays a fast pace. San Diego State, you can't trust them offensively, but they play great defense at home in their home court environment. I don't know enough about these teams to really do anything though. Next up. All right, Washington State, not in Pullman, though. Toast, I'm assuming you picked this one.
Sorry, I hit UCF and the Baylor live, so that was nice. But going to lose New Mexico and USC, unfortunately. I played Washington State here. Washington State plus the 1. I think I got 1.5 or 1. Should be still sitting around that same number. I think it's kind of bouncing around a little bit.
They're actually short favorites now. Pinnacle has a juice, a juice minus 1.5.
Dang. Yeah, I just feel like they're playing really well right now, and obviously the St. Mary's loss doesn't look good. They got slaughtered, but when they're losing games to Gonzaga, St. Mary's, and Santa Clara. They lost a road game, a road game to Oregon State, where they completely just pissed that game down their pants to lose that game. I think they ended up losing the last 10 minutes of that game by like 15 or 16 points or something crazy like that. So I think that they probably should have won that game as well. And then because really since the end of January, this team's been kind of on fire here, and Coach Riley has really had these. I know that they've lost some games, but they're losing to upper echelon competition. They lost by 4 to Santa Clara. losing to Gonzaga, I don't really put too much stock into. Gonzaga was kind of on a warpath at that point, and they had a full ditch effort versus Santa Clara. That game could have went either way at home, but regardless, excuse me, I think that my point is that I think they could have easily won that Santa Clara game and that Oregon State game. And if they would have won one of these games, I think this line would have opened at like 2.5. But if they're not, because Loyola hasn't been god awful like Loyola has usually been, and they're actually coming off of a win against San Diego, who just fired their coach. I don't really put too much stock into it. When they've played against upper level competition, they've been absolutely slaughtered. So I made Washington State, like I said, like a 2.5 point favorite. So to get them at like +1 or 1.5 or whatever I got it, I had to bet it.
I can get a -108 money line.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
I'll take.
I think I got a +1 actually is what I got.
I can't get a +1 anymore, but I can get them at basically a pick 'em. Any thoughts on this one, Spoon?
Or one.
I was starting to look more into this as we got closer to this show. Noticed LMU was out without one of their better scorers, Jalen Shelley. I believe he is their leading scorer the last 2 games. I had question marks on whether he would play. Washington State, kind of like Seattle, has not won on the road in months, so question marks around that. But if you're going to get a win, this seems like a decent spot to be able to do it. I lean Washington State. Want to check up further on that Shelley definitely before I make any moves. I could see this being on my card tomorrow.
I'm in.
108s are still available.
I just got a 107 -107. I didn't bet it. It was a trade.
Yo, I like Kalshi.
Yeah, you're becoming you like.
I am. I really am. I haven't said anything, but I do like that.
You've been traded. You've been secretly traded.
Just secretly, just dipping my toes.
just trading a little bit. Someone said, Kyle Kirms, I heard you hit a story that you went to jail and hit a low point. Yeah, they did a news story about it. I'm pretty sure everyone knows that. It's literally on the news. I would never. That guy's annoying. That's why I reacted that way. Yeah. My 20s, I made some poor choices. Wisconsin on the road at Oregon. This feels high. Did one of Oregon's people get injured?
I mean, it's the same story as it has been.
There's no what's his name? Shellstack?
Yep. Shellstad. Same.
Shellstat. Yeah. But the center's back. And nothing. This feels 5 feels way too high. The Oregon's not that bad. Wisconsin on the West Coast. Does Wisconsin? Oh no, they do have a big guy in the middle. Do they have a 7-footer? They don't. Wait. I feel like they're very 3-point reliant. Am I misremembering?
Wisconsin has a 7-footer. Yes,
they do have a 7. All right. First glance, I lean Oregon, but
I played Wisconsin -3.5 here. I will just continue to beat on the drum, guys, that they're really good on the road, especially in conference play. The Nebraska game, obviously, at the beginning of the year was absolutely terrible. They got throttled, but they lost a 1-point game to Indiana on the road. And then the Ohio State game, it is what it is. They got absolutely throttled. But they have been absolutely fantastic offensively on the road, and defensively they've been really good defending the 3 as well. The last couple of games, not so much, but the Illinois game ended up going to overtime, and Illinois is one of the best teams in the country. And Ohio State just had themselves a night where they really couldn't miss. They went 11 for 21, but they held Indiana for 5 of 22, Penn State 8 of 27, Minnesota 5 of 18, Michigan 8 of 25. I mean, this team has limited team's ability to score, and I think that matters here against this Oregon team that, I mean, they have, I don't think that they're going to be able to do anything inside, because I really do think that Nolan Winter and that Rap kid, and then they have a couple freshmen that are like 6'10", the guys, they can handle Biddle, and on top of that, you have an Oregon team that does not shoot well from the perimeter in any way, shape, or form. They've had one game in the last 2 months where they shot well, which is against Penn State, and they won that game. They shot 14 of 27 from deep. But besides that, I mean, it is god awful. 4 of 16, 2 of 20, 7 of 19, 5 of 25, 6 of 25. I'm not going to keep going, but I think everybody gets my point. And I have no reason to believe that Wisconsin's not going to be able to make their shots. I get that it's on the West Coast. Do I love that? No, not really. But I felt like getting them under the 4 number was something that I wasn't going to be able to pass up. I actually do feel like that we're getting a little bit of a discount because Oregon hasn't been playing absolutely terrible over the last couple weeks here. So again, I like Wisconsin. I got the 3.5. We'll see what happens.
No, it's Oregon here, although I can't argue with the 3.5 because market is now at 5. But I'd be looking to play on Oregon if I can get like an affordable 5.5, which currently isn't available. What do you think, Spoon?
I lean Oregon here as well. Wisconsin on the West Coast for the first time since they played BYU. They lost that game by 18 points. That was in November, so basically a different team playing on the court at this time. I don't know if you can make a ton of that, but they were just playing Iowa on the 22nd. Now they play Oregon on the 25th. Not a lot of bounce back time to travel there, get adjusted to the West Coast. So don't necessarily think it's the best travel spot for Wisconsin. I don't think they're that much better than Oregon. And this is just such a tough travel, having to go all the way to the West Coast from the East Coast. I lean Oregon here. They're not the best team. Shellstad, they have sorely missed the second half of the season, but I do think they can keep this within 2 possessions.
Yeah, I agree. If there was a plus 5.5 minus 110 available, I would take it. But it's not. I think if there's a minus 118 is the best I could get. So I'll keep an eye on this one. Can't argue with Wisconsin at 3.5, which is long gone.
I'm telling you guys, Wisconsin on the road been a moneymaker.
All right, I'm going to talk about NBA. Toast, Spoon, thanks again, as always, and enjoy your night.
Later, guys.
Have a good night.
Later. All right, Scott will be joining us in a moment. So kind of a tough NBA night. I have one bet that I really like. It's long gone. So I have a 1.5 on the Pistons, but I got minus 5.5. It's now Pinnacle's up at 8 now. So I wouldn't take the Pistons now. It's 2 points gone. But it looks like there's still Detroit money coming in here. 1 second. Just a moment, please. I could put some graphics up on the screen while we wait for Scott. Okay, so Oklahoma City's not been good on these back-to-backs. This is on the second leg of back-to-backs this season. 3-6 straight up, 1-8 against the spread. So blindly fading Oklahoma City when they're on back-to-backs has been a very lucrative strategy. You'd be 8-1 against the spread, blindly fading Oklahoma City on the second leg of back-to-backs. Not only that, they played down to the wire against the Raptors. They only won by 9 in Toronto, immediately fly to Detroit. Not that that's a grueling flight or anything. It's nothing crazy, but it's a back-to-back with the travel. Oklahoma City has not been a good bet in these spots so far this year. We have to talk about who's going to play, and I think this is the lead talking point here in this game. So I put SGA as doubtful. They said they were going to reevaluate him in a week. That was 4 days ago. So I very seriously doubt he's going to be back for this one. So I put him as doubtful. I don't know if he's officially been ruled out, but I don't think we're going to see SGA in this one. I'm pretty comfortable saying that. I also don't think we're going to see Jalen Williams. No, he's not. He's reevaluated in another week and a half. Mitchell is not coming back either. The reason I have question marks next to Caruso and Chet, even though as of right now they're not listed as questionable, they were listed as questionable tonight. They've both been dealing with lingering injuries. They were listed as questionable tonight in Toronto. They both ended up playing. Chet played 30 minutes. He's been dealing with an injury. He played 30 minutes. Caruso played 23 minutes. I think there's a chance that these guys don't even play. If I plugged it in, if both Chet and Caruso sit, and again, I don't know if they're sitting. They're on a back-to-back. I think there's a good chance they may sit. If they both sit, I have this game at 9. So, yeah, I was all over that 5.5. Like I said, it's gone. I wouldn't bet it at 7.5. I would wait. Maybe you can get a better number at another point. But, yeah, I do have a bet on the Pistons right now, which I'll pull up on the screen. All right. Where's Scott at? All right, he says coming on now. So Scott will be here in a sec. And the reason I'm waiting for him here is the next game. Oh, actually, I could talk about the next game too. So, next game up, Spurs Raptors. Now, kind of wrench got thrown into this one. Scotty Barnes got added to the injury report, listed as questionable. RJ Barrett hasn't been playing on the second leg of back-to-backs for Toronto, so there's moving pieces here. It does look like the Raptors are taking some money. So originally it was at 5.5, 6. Scotty Barnes, it got announced that he was listed as questionable. It shot up to 6.5, 7, which is where it is now. I don't know if Scotty Barnes is definitely not going to play or not. Now, we know Toronto can play defense, but the Spurs have not had problems playing against good defenses. We know this. We were just talking about this before the San Antonio-Detroit game. Since December 1st, they've played 13 games against top 10 defenses. They're 10-3, 9-4 against the spread. So the Spurs haven't had problems playing elite defenses, but the Raptors have been insanely good when they play fast-paced teams. So check this out. Since December 1st, the Raptors have played 13 games against teams with a pace above 101. So 101 possessions per game. They played 13 games since December 1st against fast-paced teams. They're 11-2. The Raptors have been insanely good against fast-paced teams, but with no possibly no Scotty Barnes, with possible no RJ Barrett. What do you really do with that information? What's up, Scott? So we'll go back to this one real quick. I'm on Pistons, but I got -5.5. So it's at 7.5 now. Did you have any? Oh, you took an under here, actually. I saw your text.
Yeah. I'll go with the under. Both teams have been great defensively all season, especially lately. Last 10 games, Pistons ranked #1 in defensive rating. Thunder are on a back-to-back. They just played in Toronto, so not exactly the best scheduling spot, but they rank 5th in defensive rating over the same time span. Both teams also don't play that fast. Past 10 games, Thunder ranked 23rd in pace. Pistons ranked 17th. We saw Detroit and San Antonio kill each other last game. I can see a pretty similar tone in this one. I'm going to go with the under in this matchup. Think we'll see a physical playoff atmosphere.
Cool. Now, what do you think about this one? So this next one, Spurs Raptors. I really wanted to take Toronto, but then Scotty Barnes added to the injury report. RJ Barrett hasn't really played on the second leg of back-to-backs all year, so I'm not sure if you can count on RJ Barrett being there. What do you think?
Yeah, so I actually like a team total. I have the Raptors team total under 111.5 at around -125. The Raptors have not been very good offensively when playing on back-to-backs. They have scored less than 111 in 6 of their last 8 games when playing with no rest. Spurs have also been great defensively. They've allowed less than 104 in 2 of their last 3 games. The Raptors this season played the Spurs once, scored 103. We know Toronto's not exactly the best outside shooting team, and you have Wemby patrolling the middle, ready to punt every shot. I think it's a bad matchup. You're looking at San Antonio with all the athleticism from the guards, with Castle, with even if you want to throw in Harper off the bench, and Wemby, of course, patrolling the middle. Toronto really not being that great of an outside shooting team, I think will be an issue for them in this matchup. I like their team total over. Fatigue could play a factor. Matchup could be an issue.
Team
couple
total
ways to
under.
get there.
Under,
Wait,
right?
what?
You said team total. Versus
111.5.
No,
yeah.
Under you said though, right?
Yes, under.
Yeah,
Under
you accidentally said over in this.
Sorry, my bad. So the point is, I think Toronto's offense is going to struggle against this San Antonio defense, especially on a back-to-back because of the lack of shooting. Give me the team total under 111.5.
Yeah, it's tough to argue with that. If Scotty Barnes and RJ Barrett doesn't play, how are they scoring on the Spurs defense? So yeah, it's tough to argue against that. But the Raptors have played good defense. I actually wouldn't mind what's the total for the game? 230.5.
I thought it was pretty high, but there is a chance San Antonio maybe has a solid game. So
but if
I decided to take them out of the equation. I just took Toronto.
Yeah, and the Spurs they're always down to run. I wouldn't be mad at an under 230.5. I don't see the Raptors contributing much, and the Raptors' only chance of winning the game at home is to slow the game down, make it ugly. So yeah. Last game we're going to talk about, Celtics Nuggets. What was the final score? So the Celtics won and covered for you against Phoenix.
Yeah, they killed them.
Yeah, well, Phoenix had an early lead, and then I saw the Celtics were coming back. I actually didn't watch 1 minute of that game tonight.
The Celtics kind of woke up in the second quarter, but Phoenix, what do you know, scored 81 points. So they can't score without Brooks and without Booker. I'll keep fading him, keep taking their unders. But yeah, Boston won by double digits, and they didn't even reach 100 points. So really never in doubt for me, especially for the second half, basically.
So do you agree? It looks like some Boston money has come in. We're down to 3.5 now. This was 4.5 when I was making the graphics, but Pinnacle's down to 3.5. Circa's down to 3.5.
I got the Boston team total over at 111.5. Coincidentally, same number as the Toronto game, but I am going to go with the over in this one. Denver, look, they play down the competition for one big reason. They can't guard anybody, and we've seen that for the last couple of months, really since Aaron Gordon got injured. I understand that it's a good scheduling spot with Boston playing on a back-to-back. It's why I do think Denver can still win the game with Boston still going over this team total. Boston on back-to-backs has been quite good. The Celtics have scored at least 112 in 5 of their last 7 games when playing with no rest. Denver's allowed at least 115 in 8 of their last 9 games. And Jaylen Brown did not play yesterday as a precautionary measure. Chancey is back in the lineup. Denver could bury him. That's still fine. But Boston getting to 112, I think, is a very realistic number for how bad Denver's defense has been pretty much since Aaron Gordon got injured. So instead of going with the side of the total, I'm going team total. Give me Boston team total over 111.5.
I kind of like the Nuggets down at 3.5.
Once again, they can cover, but I'm just picking a high-scoring game.
Let me check something. What about an over?
Yeah, I'm fine with that too. I mean, Denver, if they're going to win games, it has to be through offense. But when you give up 120-plus points to a group led by Al Horford, you have
This is over. I like this.
Podziemski and Melton. I have no faith in your defense. So I think Boston can definitely score a bunch of points.
I missed it. There was 227.5. So it's up at 230 now. I missed this. Yeah, I do like that over. I'll put over up, but I'm just going to stick with my Pistons minus 5.5 is the only thing I got. But all right, where can they find you?
Yep, find me on Twitter at Reichel Radio, SGPN. All my podcasts are free. So once again, check me out on Twitter. You can find all my picks there.
Cool. Everyone, have a good night. Thanks for watching, and see you all tomorrow.